otherwise known as Jared Dog, and for this edition of Beyond the Mic, I have on the phone with me Tim Pogorelski, who owns, runs, and operates Boxcars Pub and Grub in the small town of Clinton, Wisconsin, which has a population of about 2,000 or 3,000 people. Is that right, Tim?
Yeah, about 2,100 people.
2,100 people. And even though it's a small town with just 2,100 people, Tim produces a wide range of successful entertainment events at his bar, all for the purpose of bringing in more customers and building loyalty with his regulars. And he brings in everything from national headliners to local performers and even does some entertainment events on his own. And, in fact, I've been working with Tim for about a year and a half now, helping produce monthly comedy nights at his bar, which so far he's pretty much sold out every single comedy show. But his entertainment and bar promotions and events don't stop with comedy nights. He holds a wide variety of successful events that help pack his bar and keep his customers coming back again and again. And that is why I asked him to join me on this call today. Tim has a very unique perspective on holding live entertainment at his establishment, which I think at least partly comes from the fact that he used to tour nationally playing drums in a band. So thanks for recording this call with me today, Tim. When you're in a band, what kind of music did you play?
We started out when we first went on the road playing mainly classic rock and roll, a lot of southern rock and stuff. And as we got into different venues and stuff, our agent kind of steered us more towards the top 40 kind of format, which kind of was part of the reason of why we stopped traveling after a while. And myself and another gentleman were leaving the band and just kind of got away from our core of what we started out doing as far as being different. And why we kept getting hired back was because we were a different band, and which kind of leads me to my beliefs of everything, is just kind of trying to be a little different from everybody else. And, pretty soon we were doing the same crap as everybody, the Michael Jackson, Billy Ocean, or, I'm trying to think of some, the Pat Benatar stuff, which, it was all good stuff, but it was just kind of what everybody was doing before we were doing, Lynyrd Skynyrd, ZZ Top, a lot of southern rock, a lot of stuff that people didn't hear, and made us unique in a way. And so it's kind of been my almost mission statement, is to be somewhat a little bit different than everybody else.
Yeah, I can't imagine, why would an agent suggest that you do top 40 in a bar atmosphere? It almost seems like that would be the completely wrong format for a bar crowd, which I always felt like customers, people go to the bar to see a band so they can cut loose and party it up, and it's hard to do that with listening to Michael Jackson and Billy Ocean and Pat Benatar.
Yeah, and it was part of his, own deal. The rooms that he booked, some of them, that's what we had to be to get into those rooms, and of course they were his rooms, and more money for him, and a little bit more money for us too. But excuse me, it wasn't worth what I felt like selling out for. It wasn't what I signed on for, and so and it was a great band, and I'm still good friends with them guys. I still jam with some of them, and they're still playing. Not two of the same people. And that's been going on 27 years ago now. But like I said, some of them same beliefs that I had then, we use today.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I always felt like it's important to distinguish yourself and not just try to go for mass appeal, but instead to focus in on a niche audience. And even, you might call it, I call it my audience, or I call it my fans or my followers. But really, for any business, it's essentially your customers or your clients. And I had an agent once suggest to me that I wear a suit when I do comedy. Well, can you imagine Jared Dog in a suit?
Not unless it was a dog outfit.
Right. It wouldn't work. And I dress nice, but I just like to keep it real. And I think that's what's important when you're presenting. When you're real, you're automatically going to be different because everybody's a different person just naturally, But now as a bar owner, why is it important to you to provide entertainment events for your customers?
Well, I think it just gives them something to do, a reason to come there besides just to occupy a bar stool. And there was a gentleman that owned a bar a few miles from me, and he owned it for 14 years and was successful, but got out of it. And he didn't believe that. He didn't believe that, to have a golf on. He didn't find the sense in why do you bring 60 people to your place to gather and then you leave and go to a golf course, and then you come back, or why do you bring 50, 60 people and you get on a bus and you go to Miller Park to a ball game, and then you come back. Why are you going to bring all them people there and then take them out of your bar? And I just didn't believe that. I believe that you bring them there and you gather and, and then we go and do something fun. I mean, and then that way when I'm saying, hey, you got to come to this comedy show, or you got to come and see this band, or, we're doing a trivia night. Come. They're like, Jesus, I really think this is going to be a good time. We got to go there. Everything else we've done at this place has been fun, and so we're going to come and, and it just provides a fun atmosphere. And I think it's just, like I say, something besides just occupying a bar stool and watching sports on TV. I mean, I think that'd be easy to do. And there's times that I wish that's all I did. it is a lot of work. But the reward at the end is what for me, I mean, this past weekend we did a fundraiser for a local organization around here that sends veterans out to Washington, D.C. to see their World War II monument and Korean monuments. And it was a 5-hour fundraiser from 2 to 7. We raised a little bit over $10,000 in those 5 hours.
Nice.
And, it was phenomenal, and then Sunday was St. Patrick's Day, and it was just, look at them 2 days combined was like 30 hours of work time being there. And but it was worth it. I came home Sunday night and I was exhausted, but it was a good tired, knowing that you did something really good on Saturday and then provided entertainment on Sunday. We had a one-man band there, a duo, I should say, playing on Sunday. But I was behind the bar being my normal corny self, and I made a comment to him thinking, geez, why am I, I'm paying this guy X amount of dollars, and I'm back here entertaining people, But I mean, that's just, to me, I love that. I love having fun. I like people when they walk in, they bring a stranger, they walk in and go, wait till you meet this guy, or wait till you meet this bartender, or wait till you see what's going on here. You're going to love this place. And, the majority of the time, they do go, man, I'm going to come back and bring my friends. And that's the reward for me.
Yeah, and it sounds like that by becoming the personality of the bar, and every bar should have a personality, where the bar itself should have a personality, or a bartender that's super outgoing and can attract people, a bar owner, a bar manager. But at the same time, it's using those counterintuitive ideas that you talked about, where you bring people away from the bar, they meet there, but then they go elsewhere on a golf outing, or I know you've done some other events where you've traveled away from the bar. It sounds like you're also building up your credibility, so that when you do present something different, like the first time you had comedy night, it was completely different, something brand new for you, but you had a packed house that night. It sounds like because you're able to do all these other things that might seem counterintuitive to bar owners and managers, but it builds your relationship with your customers, and they trust you more. So when you say, yeah, you got to come to this comedy night, or you got to come to this event, or whatever it might be, they're going to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of what it is to me. You build that trust, and you let them know that, okay, I'm gonna spend this $10, I'm gonna spend this $20, or $50 to go to a ball game, and I know that when I get on that bus and travel to Milwaukee, I'm gonna have a good time. When we get there, the tailgate party is gonna be great. We're gonna go inside, we're gonna have a blast. We're gonna get back on the bus and come back, and when we get back, then we're gonna have karaoke going on, or some form of entertainment. When we get back there, we're gonna have a good time when we get back. The party's going to continue. And it's just, I think it's important to give your customers some value to what they're doing, besides just walking in the door every day and, you're just walking in and going, hey, how you doing? Here's your beer. Give me $3, and hope you had a good day. See you later.
Right.
I mean, there's people, and I know, we're in a small town, and I know, one of the questions later is, a small town versus large town. But, we're in a small town. Everybody does know a lot of what's going on. So you're asking, hey, how's your son or daughter doing in school, or how's that little one doing? How's the grandkids? How's whatever? They ask me how's things, how is everything going, or whatever. And we kind of know a little insight into each other. But besides that, it's just, then when we do have an event, they're looking forward to it. It gives them something to look forward to, and they know that they're going to have a good time. And not to be repetitive here, but they have that trust of, I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to call up my buddy, 20 miles from here. I'm going to have him drive up and meet me here, and he's going to go with us on this bus trip, this golf outing, whatever it might be, or come up here for comedy night, or come up here for trivia night, or just come up here on a karaoke night. We have a great guy that does karaoke. He's very consistent, and he has a good following, which attracts people to our place. And it's just I think you have to reach out if you want to be that. If you just want to be that other little bar that just is there and you exist and get along, and you don't put out any expenditures and everything, you can do that too. And I respect and appreciate people that do that. I just want more.
Sure. And it sounds like that you are using a lot of entertainers and you doing events that are already going to draw a crowd. Your karaoke guy has a local following. You booked me to do a comedy night. I have a following in that area. But besides comedy night, besides karaoke, what other events have been successful for you?
We do football season is huge for us. We do quite a big event on game day, which of course our bar is a Packers bar, being here in Wisconsin.
Sure.
And we get people from, I'm going to say 20, 30 miles away that drive up faithfully every Sunday to attend our event. It starts out with, we do the national anthem before a game. We have a big flag behind our bar that was presented to us from a local gentleman that flag flew over Afghanistan. He's an Army Ranger. He presented it to us for our support of the troops. And I'm getting emotional right now. It meant a lot to us. And so we do the national anthem before every game. I mean, I've had people, it's getting to be a few minutes for a game. Hey, aren't we going to do you aren't going to do the anthem today? Oh, yeah, we're going to do that. I mean, it's stuff they look, because they bring other people and say, you got to watch this. And we have a huge table of items that we raffle off during the game. We do, cue the jukebox when the Packers score and play a Todd Rundgren tune, Bang on the Drum. We draw out. We have a wheel we spin. We draw out for when the Packers score. You can, win some prizes. We have a inflatable football that gets passed around when they score, and that person gets to have their drinks for free till they score again. Different stuff, and that's huge for us. Once football's over, from now until spring on Sundays, we'll have music next door in the dining room area on Sunday afternoons. That's big for us, and we have certain people there. We have certain people that play on Sunday afternoons over in the other side, on the regular side of the bar, because that's the atmosphere that they thrive in. They want that whole bar atmosphere where the people that play on the other side, it's more of a quiet, people sit and listen.
Right.
And it's nice. It's nice. I'm lucky to be able. That's why I purchased that other building and did what I did, which I know some people can't do, but that's what I did. And so if you couldn't do that, if I didn't have that other side, I wouldn't book certain events there. I would just have the guys that can play, and thrive in that atmosphere of a busy bar and people sitting at a bar talking and the TV's on and everything. I think you have to adapt to your venue, instead of bringing some guy in that, he needs people to be quiet. That's your mistake as a bar owner, of trying to do something that you're not. I look at everything as if I'm the customer and what do I want, or what do I like, and people kind of adapt to my personality, or maybe I adapted to theirs. I'm not sure.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah, and it's along those lines. I try to do things that I think would be fun to me, fun to my friends, fun to people that I party with outside of boxcars.
Right.
And, and then that's kind of my thinking of doing things. And that doesn't, we've tried stuff outside the box, and a couple of things haven't worked. And so we don't go do that again. But, even the comedy night thing, I think if, the first night, if it only would have drawn, let's say 30, 35 people instead of the 50, 55 people it did, I still would have done it. Because I think you can't just try stuff once and then go, oh, crap, that didn't work. You have to build it up a little bit and keep trying.
It sounds like you're doing a lot of customer interactive events instead of just putting the game on and letting the game play, and that, which is fine. A lot of places do that, but you're incorporating your customers into the event itself by doing the different promotions and drink specials throughout the game, which I think is just brilliant. I mean, it probably keeps people there a little bit longer if they have by having that incentive.
Oh, absolutely. And when we first started it, now we put out like chili dogs. We put out so many, and we don't put them out till the start of the game, and when they're gone, they're gone. It's rather inexpensive to put that out. You have your buns, some hot dogs, and a little bit of chili. Mm-hmm. It's rather inexpensive. Where when we first started doing it, we were putting out wings, and we were putting out stuff and giving it away. And I'm watching people walk in that don't give a crap about the game, but sitting down and eating all my free food that my customers to watch the game are there. It's there for them, really. And I was like, you know what? This is stupid. I don't need to just give away stuff to walk. I'm not in this business to break even.
Right.
I want to provide a good time, but I'm just like any other business owner. I want to make money. So it's like, geez, what can we do to still, give a little bit away or whatever it might be and still make money? And so, I mean, we do that, and like I said, the chili dogs or stuff, and my wife watches, specials that are going on during the week, or we talk to our vendors, our food vendors, and, what can you get us? Can you give us a deal on this or whatever it might be? And, we do a meat raffle every Friday night. Started out 2 years ago as just a whim, something to do on a Friday.
Right, and now, you only host that on a microphone, too.
Yeah, and now it's like we have to do that. I mean, I can't not do that. If I'm not there, then I have the guy that does our karaoke. He does it. It's not like it's not an option to not do that on a Friday night anymore. It's just grown into it's nuts in there from 5 to 7. You stop by, you've seen that. It's packed in there, and people love it. And and there again, that's I'll take credit for it, but my staff does a great job. Everybody does a wonderful job of promoting that. And but there again, it's my personality kind of, and I think you've got to be that outgoing person. You got to look in the mirror and realize, all right, I can do this. I can go be an entertainer or whatever you want to say. And if I couldn't do it, then I'll get somebody that can, because that's to be a stick in the mud standing up there wouldn't be any fun. It wouldn't be near as much fun just reaching in a bucket and drawing on a number 395.
Yeah.
They come up and grab their meat. We try to make it fun, and it's turned into a great thing. But there again, we went through. It was a little slow when we started out, and we just kept doing it. And now it's we have people that drive from 20, 30 miles away that come there for the meat raffle and bring their friends. Oh, we got to bring them here. They got to see this. I had a guy a couple of weeks ago in there taking notes on going to do one for an American Legion or something somewhere, and someone told him, boy, you want to do a meat raffle at your place, go to Boxcars and watch how they do theirs. And it was a flattering thing. I hadn't had a guy do that before. He's asking all these questions, and once you get past the fact where you don't feel like the guy's trying to steal you, or he's going to be down the road, doing the same thing. It's like they're from whole other town, and they just want to do it for, a fundraiser type of deal, and you don't feel as like they're trying to steal from you or something. But it was just, kind of flattering and stuff that they thought that you do that good a job, that and it worked.
Well, and you're doing a fantastic job, because they say most bars can only draw from within a 2 to 3 mile range due to DUIs and local affinity and things like that. But you've mentioned a few times now that a lot of your promotions are drawing from farther than that, 10, 20, 30 miles away. And so that is, you're beating the odds.
Yeah. Yep.
Now, so what entertainment events then have not worked for you? What would you suggest to avoid, or what would you suggest someone be wary of if they were to do based on your experience?
Well, as far as like multiple events of repeating yourself, we did that this year, and first time ever we had to cancel an event. We had a bus trip scheduled to go to a local minor league hockey game, and we had our first one, and it went over very well. And we tried to do another one later on, and of course, and then there's a place in town that they had one also, and it just got to be too much. I think it'd be like when we did the comedy thing. Mm-hmm. You know, we did that on that first Wednesday, and it was successful. And I still remember sitting down and talking to you afterwards, going, "Geez, this is something I might like to pursue." And I think, you know, all of a sudden going, "Let's do this every Wednesday, Jeremy. Let's do this." You know, we'd have maybe done that 2 or 3 times and it would have been dead, and we never would have had comedy again. I think sometimes with people, just the same way that they won't give things time to build, they rush into things. Once they do something and it's successful, it's like, let's do that again next week, or let's do that again in 2 weeks, or and that's kind of the thing we've gotten into a couple of times, is like rushing into something and trying to do it again and duplicating that. That we ran into where it didn't sell, you know, where if we go, okay, once a year, we got to limit ourselves. We can only do this once a year. You know, we can't expect 50 people to sign up every week to go on a bus trip, or we can't expect 50 people every week to go to a hockey game or to stuff like that. That's not work for us. And I'd say, you know, picking like some of the music, even we've had some bands that I liked that we had in there that didn't go over at all. And that was my fault, because it was more, instead of practicing what I preach as far as, you know, reading my crowd and my audience and my customers and stuff, you know, I just went and got somebody that I really like. So it was more like, you know, I'm shucking out for, you know, like a personal concert almost, you know, or a personal
right.
show. Here, you know, hey, I'm paying for, here you go, entertain me, because I am the only one here.
Right,
yeah.
And you don't want that. I mean, you probably had a great time personally, but like you said, you're in business to make money, not just to satisfy your own wants and desires for entertainment options. And I think that you touched on a good point there too, and it's something that I remember we talked about when it came to comedy night, is to create it as a limited event where you know you're going to be consistent in doing it while you're doing it, but that there is an end eventually, and that doesn't mean you can't restart it after a few months, or it doesn't mean you can't bring back certain entertainment events. But I do think that a lot of bar owners and managers will have a successful event, and they'll want to run with that as much as possible, and they wind up killing the golden goose.
Yeah, exactly. And they said it, and I think it goes hand in hand with the same way of doing something and not giving it time to build. You know, that first time you have 20, you know, the next time 30, next time 40, whatever. But, yeah, that first time you do something and it's packed, it's like, boy, let's do this again. You know, or just recognizing, like I said earlier with the, you know, on our football Sundays, we used to give away, and you're looking around going, geez, there's 15 people in here doing nothing more than just eating my free food. You know, that's not good either.
Right.
But I think we, you know, thinking about that question, we haven't had a whole lot of, and that's not a boast or anything, but we haven't had a whole lot of failures because I think that, you know, we have recognized our faults and fixed them, you know.
Right.
But that's been kind of the way that we've learned.
So you just continue to tweak the process, find out, get the feedback from your customers, and then continue to improve on it, make it better and better, so that way you're maximizing the experience and you're maximizing your profits that way. At the same time, put a limit on it to create that scarcity, and then you have people asking for it and leave them wanting more. Build up the anticipation, so the next time you go to do those types of events, they're really excited, and it's a super easy sell for you.
Yeah, exactly. And the same way, too, is, you know, we've talked in the past, I try to get feedback from you and the other comedians that have come in, and the same way with musicians that I've had come in. Or, you know, when we've done a trivia night, or we hosted, we had a I'm trying to think of can't think of the proper word. The lady that comes in and like reads people's palms, or a medium. And we had that one night, and that went over good. So, and then what I'm trying to say here is we've I lost my train of thought all of a sudden. I don't know if it's too much what. I lost where I was going. I steered left when I should have steered right.
Well, we were talking about doing different things, but then you started mentioning some of the different stuff that you do, but also you want to keep a limit on it and maximize it, so that way you're not burning it out, but at the same time giving it a chance to build and get people used to something new and different. You probably don't want to have the palm reader in there all the time, but as a unique event every once in a while, I bet it probably draws a pretty good crowd.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at was then, we've had people ask about, when are you going to bring that back? Or, hey, are you going to do that again? Just like the comedy night.
Right.
You're going to start this up again in October, right? Oh, yeah, we will. Well, include me in and let me know as soon as the VIP thing comes out, because I want to buy a VIP package. Or, are you going to have this band back again? Or, are you going to do an outside thing? We do some outside stuff. And I live in a unique little town that allows me to do things like on a Sunday afternoon and block off part of the street. And, I belong to the Rock County Tavern League, and we'll have a meeting over in my place, and people will go outside to smoke, and I say, you can take your beer out with you. Oh, that's right. Yeah, we don't have to. We're not in, such and such a town, or we're not here. That's right. You can do that here. And it's part of my license, and I made sure that had the foresight or whatever to do that. I had not the foresight of knowing there was going to be a smoking ban or anything like that, but just that, people want to be outside, when it's a beautiful sunshiny day, and they have some tables and chairs and sit out there. And so it's a unique little setting that I have, and it's one that I respect the heck out of, and the fact that it's my privilege, and I never take it as my right to be able to do that.
Right.
And, and so it's a unique setting there, and one that I'm really lucky to be able to do. But in the same sense, it's just people are funny. They just enjoy having a good time. They enjoy being entertained, and but they said they don't want to. I don't think people want to come in there every week feeling pressured to like, oh geez, I got to buy a ticket to this ball game. I got to buy a ticket to the comedy night. I got to buy a ticket to this. I got to buy a ticket to that. So we kind of have events going on a little bit here and there, but what we'll do a lot is like our next one is not till April 14th, and so we're just promoting the heck out of it from now till then and building it up so it's like this huge event that people are like, holy cow, I can't miss this. I don't know why I can't miss it, but I just feel like I can't. It's
right.
You build it up that way.
It creates what they call the pain of disconnect. And so you're not necessarily in there pressuring your customers or your regulars to attend your events, but you've just made them so magnetically attractive that they feel they have to be there. And you're also doing a wide range of things that appeal to a wide range of your customers. Not everybody likes the comedy nights. Probably not everybody likes the ball games. Not everybody probably likes the palm reader or karaoke. But there are enough people that like each one of those individual events as an individual event that they will support it, and you'll be able to be profitable from it.
Exactly. Yep. And diversity is a big thing. There were some people that, there was a whole other group of people that went to that medium and what come to comedy night.
Right.
And same thing is I don't see very many of the people that come to comedy night in listening to the band when they're there or something. But, it's like I'll try to hire somebody. Like I said, I've made the mistake of hiring people that just for my entertainment value. Now it's like, you get somebody in there and maybe you think, boy, this ain't my cup of tea, but how can I argue with the 50 people that are in here listening to them? They like it, so, fine by me.
Exactly. So how do you evaluate the entertainers or the events or promotions that you might be using? How do you evaluate that stuff ahead of time to make sure they're the right fit for your crowd? Or is it just an experiment?
Well, as far as like with you, in the comedy thing, it was just a trust thing, and it's like a one-time deal. And I remember, way back then I told you that if I can't sell 50 tickets to my customers, then I shouldn't be in business. And I was like, I can
right.
promote this, and one time if it doesn't go over, or it's awful, we just won't do it again.
Mm-hmm.
But on the other side, it's like if somebody comes to me and goes, hey, I got this band, you got to hear them or whatever. I'll go listen to them, or I'll contact them. But they've got to fit in the little room we have. We can't have pyrotechnics and somebody with 1,900 speakers and blasting the stuff off the wall. That doesn't go over.
Right.
But then again, there's bands out there or entertainers that I know that that just can entertain. They fit that room. I think it's probably my experience of having traveled and played and stuff, and just being able to read what might go over, and knowing my customers. But I'll trust them too if they they say they want to have something, or need to have this band. We'll do it. And there's other bands I haven't had because it's just not to sound like an arrogant prick. I don't want to lower my standards down to where and this is probably a bad example as far as trying to do a good business. Sometimes all that matters to people is just ringing their till, and while that does matter to me too, I like to still have a little bit of standards.
Sure.
Because I want people to know that when there's band or there's music there, it's going to be good. Not that this other isn't good, but not that it just isn't, some schmuck, or for, this comedy thing's gone over well for me now. All of a sudden, my buddy goes, hey, I'm pretty good at telling jokes. And I go, well, shit, I'll put you up on stage and sell 50 tickets at $10, And then people come and they go, this sucks. I'm not coming.
Know the
I'm
guy,
not coming back again.
and they like the guy, and they're friends with the guy. They'll give him about 5 minutes, and you could be Jack Nicholson, who everybody loves, and everybody will give anyone 5-10 minutes, but after that, you got to bring it.
Yep.
So
exactly.
So what are some events that you can present at your bar that engage your customers without necessarily having to hire professionals? I know a lot of the people listening to this call, they're on budgets. They can't necessarily bring in a national headliner, or maybe they just don't know how, or maybe they don't necessarily have the capability to risk a big ticket item like that. Are there any do-it-yourself events that have been successful for you that do feature some of you local entertainers that are a little bit more cost-effective?
No, we haven't. We've also done just like a bar Olympics type of thing, to where if you have a dartboard in there, you use your dartboard or your pool table, and you form teams, and they maybe you provide them the quarters for the dartboard, or you open up the pool table and you make the pool free, but you have a contest of all right, you got a team of 2 people, you're going to play darts. You get done with that, you're going to play pool, and do it weekly or something. We just got done with last week an indoor cornhole, the bags thing that people are so popular now, throwing the bean bags, and we had that inside. So I mean, if you have the boards and bags already, and if you have the area to do it, I know a friend of mine in Janesville. He doesn't have an extra room, but he just moves his tables, and it's not quite regulation, but he gets people in there. It cost him, the boards and the bags, the initial cost of that, and it was after that he had people in, and they throw in so much for a league fee, and it's not a great deal, but they come out and have a few beers and some laughs and some camaraderie. We do a card night, a euchre tournament. It costs you a few decks of cards, which a lot of times you can get from anywhere. You can go to, local little store and get some decks of cards relatively cheap. Cribbage boards, just stuff that like that people can do that aren't expensive. We do a poker league, and people pay just like a softball league or something. You pay an entry fee and get in, and you do a poker league and keep standings every week. And there's a lot of things. Trivia night is an easy thing. There is a lot of things that people just sit down and think about it a little bit. You don't have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars. And, we're not a big budget place at all.
Right.
We we are, like the comedy. I mean, that's an expense, but the tickets offset that. That pays for my entertainer, the hotel, my printing of the tickets and the promotional items and stuff. The rest for me to make is up to have a good waitress, good bartenders, and, good food and cold drinks to be able to slam them out there, and make the till go around for, an hour and a half or 2 hours on a Wednesday that we don't normally do.
Well, that's a great point, because that was leading into my next question. I've got two of them that you just now touched on. First, what are some of your strategies that you use to make sure people attend the events you put on? Because we know that it's pointless to put on the event if no one's going to show up. What do you do to make sure there are butts in the seats?
We, people can talk to their local beer distributors, vendors. You let them know what your event is and stuff. They'll print out posters for you for, they'll say Miller Lite on it or Old Style or Budweiser, whatever it might say. And, they'll put, Billy Bob and his orchestra appearing what day and, or come to trivia night on Tuesdays or whatever it might be. That's no cost to you. They'll do it up for you for nothing. They'll make you a banner maybe to put outside or, something to hang up. We have a couple of whiteboards, that we write stuff on. We have, we talk to the bartenders and make sure I'll talk to them, almost every day when I'm in there and say, hey, any interest in comedy tickets last night or, any interest on the bus trip, or did you let people know that we're going to have a euchre tournament this Saturday? And, keep pounding them. And I'll try to be in there at key times, like during lunch hour and then during happy hour, and when you have most of the people in there and, hey, how you guys doing today? Hey, doing nothing Saturday. Here's a little piece of paper that we made up on the computer, ourselves, and hand out here. If you're not doing anything, come to euchre. You guys play euchre? You want to play poker? We'll do stuff like that. That's not, cost anything to us, but yet we try to draw people in there and just, word of mouth and your staff helping you push these things.
And that's what I was going to say next. That was going to be my next question is once they are in there and you've done a great job of promoting and you've gotten the butts in the seats, what are you doing to get your staff on board with helping promote? I know you have some unique ways to incentivize your waitresses and your bartenders.
Yeah, for sign-up sheets or comedy nights, when we did this fundraiser last weekend, we sold raffle tickets for people to win a pig. So it's like, and then this went to everybody that I'd give a packet of 5 or 10 tickets to, and I'd say, hey, sell these for me, bring me back the money and the ticket stubs, write your name on the back. If you sell the winning ticket, I'll give you $50 or $100 or a gift certificate here, whatever it might be. And I do that with our staff. It's, you guys sell, whoever sells the most comedy tickets, I'll, give you a gift certificate from the local mall. I'll give you a $50 gas card. I'll give you, and it's, it's not like I'm trying to bribe people into it, but, they like that too. And they like to be the one that sticks their chest out and go, I sold the most tickets this week, or
sure,
this month or whatever it might be. And so we do incentives that way. And then once people are in the door, I've, talked with my staff about that, on Sundays when we have music or, Wednesdays when we have comedy. We have a captive audience. They're here. Let's serve them. I'm going to make more money. You're going to make better tips. Everybody's going to win. The people are going to get service and they're going to be happy. Money motivates people. And, not that you have to try to buy everything, but it makes people happier when I come in and sit down, I want to get waited on, and if you can't get to them right away, at least let them know, I'll be right with you folks as soon as I can. I got to bring these drinks out for these people. At least they know you acknowledged them. We do things that we have cards on tables that we do for both comedy night and when we have music. And people, there's a space on there for them to write the table number they're at, what they want for the drinks. And they either hold it up when the waitress comes in or stick it in the little holder on the table. And all the waitress has to do is pick that up. She goes back to the bar, turns it in. They make whatever drinks, give her back the drinks. And with that piece of paper on them, she takes them out to table number 7. Here's your drinks. Here you go. And they don't have to get up and come to the bar, wait in line or anything. And then just, smile, be friendly, and make it just a fun time. Nobody wants to come and have a crab ass as a bartender or a waitress when, they're there to have a good time.
No, for sure, and that hurts your overall credibility, and it diminishes the experience. And the idea is to keep people coming back for more and more and more of the different events that you're doing. So I know a lot of people that are listening to this call, they are in small towns. So I wanted to touch on what is the difference in the type of events you can put on there compared to what takes place in the big cities. We talked about it a little bit already, and you can do things outside in the street. You tend to have a little bit better relationship with some of the local officials, perhaps. People can go outside and smoke, and they can bring their drinks out there. So I know you cannot get away with that kind of stuff here in Chicago. So as far as putting on entertainment, is there a difference in the type of events you can put on there compared to what takes place in the bigger cities?
Oh, sure. And I think, not that every big city, the venues are bigger, but, there are places that have bigger venues. But I think it's doing stuff and, outside of using the term kissing ass, which, you don't want to do, but, you want to have a good relationship with the local authorities. You want to let them know that you can handle any situation on your own if problems arise, or have an understanding that, and with your customers too, if something arises or something happens here, I'm just dialing the cops and they're going to come and deal with you, and the cops like that, the customers like that. I mean, they really do. It sounds odd to say, but I mean, some people know they can come in there and go, Jesus, something starts here, they're just going to, in 10 minutes, Officer Jim's going to be here hauling the guy's butt out, whatever. We don't have a lot of trouble. I mean, it's, I'm not going to sit here and be ignorant saying that we don't have, haven't had our rednecks in there or people causing trouble or whatever. There's been that stuff's going on. But being able to deal with it, having a plan in place and stuff. But as far as you make your question, I got off base a little bit. I think, bigger cities, just they have more, they can almost fail maybe a little bit more because they have that more people to draw from, to where in a small town, I think you have to be a little bit on. You can't afford to fail very many times, otherwise people will just stop coming there. They won't believe in what you're doing and stuff. But I think it's a challenge, but I think in the same sense, I know in our little town we have another bar, a bowling alley, where, you go 15 miles away to Janesville, and I don't know what's there, 40 or 50 bars there to compete with. I know they have 25 times the population I do, but they have 25 times the bars.
Right.
So sometimes I think if you do things the right way in a small town, you maybe even have a little bit of an advantage of, I know there's more people to draw from, but there's also more competition.
And I completely 100% agree with that. It is so true, because even though I live in a big city, most of my shows do take place in small towns. I've traveled so many of these small towns. And what is key, the absolute key point, is you have the advantage of being able to develop these relationships with your locals, with your customers, with your local officials, with everybody you need to know, that you can't necessarily get that kind of dynamic here in Chicago, well, especially in Chicago, where there's tons of red tape. You could probably, I'll bet, if you wanted to, Tim, call up the mayor of Clinton and have a sit-down meeting with him about something possibly. But good luck trying to call Rahm Emanuel and get a meeting with him, the mayor of Chicago. Yeah. It's impossible. Yep. And there's a zillion cops in town. No one really knows each other. So sure, a lot of the bars here in Chicago, they have their regulars, and they have their they do a lot of marketing and building relationships with their customers. But in a small town, it just seems like you have that much more impact. Everybody knows everybody, and it makes it that much more important to develop that relationship and to keep your reputation strong, so people know they can go into boxcars and they're not going to be a lot of riffraff in there. They're going to cause fights and spoil the good time that everyone's having.
Exactly, and in the same sense of that is, it's like I said, people don't like to. Nobody likes to be called a kiss ass. I don't, or anything like that. And I think if you just remove that from your vernacular of saying that, boy, if I go and talk to the cop, or if I befriend this guy, or I talk to the village board, or, that oh, you're just kissing ass. I'm just being a businessman. you know.
Sure.
And that's all it is. It doesn't mean that, you know, and I try to use the word respect. I just want to have respect for them. I want them to have respect for my business. Like I said, I base a lot of things on what is my privilege to be able to do. It's not my right, to where I think sometimes people get into that, you know, what the hell is the cop doing walking through here? Well, we have that. The guy or the cop will walk in. People don't know. He called 10 minutes ago to be able to pick up a burger and fries to take with him when he, you know, back out on patrol for something to eat. They eat also, you know. And,
right.
You know, it's just, I get a chuckle out of when they come in and, you know, everybody's turning and going, oh, what's going on? What's going on? He's getting takeout, you know. He's just walking in to say hi, you know, doing his job, you know. It's
nothing's going on. He's just hungry.
Yeah, that's, you know, we have an officer in town that comes in probably once a month for lunch. There's the day shift, and he says he'll always get a chuckle. He'll walk in, and people will be staring at him, you know, and he's like, what? He'll say right away, you know, let me guess, you're not from around here, are you? Nope. Oh, yeah, and the cops, where you're from, the cop doesn't walk into the bar at all or anything? Or no, Yeah, we'll see here in Clinton, you know, we do that. We say hi to everybody. We want to be friendly, and, you know, and it's just, he laughs. He loves doing that, you know, and, you know, he's just doing his job. So there again, I think sometimes people can get on that other side to where, you know, there again, I'm going to use the phrase kiss ass again, but you don't, you know, you're not doing that, but yeah, you don't want to get on that wrong side because they can make life miserable for you in a hurry if you are.
Absolutely. You know, it's not kissing ass. It's just being friendly. Whether they're a cop, no matter, you know, we all have positions, we all have titles, we're all doing our thing, but we're all human beings, and we all like that social interaction, even when we're on the job, you know, or even when a cop is on duty, he still wants to be treated like a person, you know, he's not a robot. And I'm the first guy that tries to avoid the cops as much as possible whenever I'm leaving. But at the same time, if I do come across police officers, if I do come across town officials, I mean, a few weeks ago, I was partying with the mayor of Champaign, Illinois. And here's the mayor of Champaign, Illinois, where the University of Illinois is, and we're having a few drinks together. And, I have reverence and respect for the guy, but I'm not kissing his ass. I'm just being friendly with him. And then he gave me his business card, and he said, hey, if any of the cops in town give you a tough time, just have them give me a call.
It's always nice to have that ace in the hole.
Absolutely. I know you're really busy. You got a lot going on, so I'm going to let you go here real quick, but I just want to ask you one more question, if you don't mind.
Not at all.
What is your best-kept secret that is working for you that nobody else is doing?
You know, and I don't know if it's even a best-kept or a secret. I think it's just you just touched on a few minutes ago, just being real. You know, just what people see is what they get. You know, on Packer Sundays, I'm wearing my green and gold. I've been a Packer fan since I've been knee high. I you know, they're my team, and you know, and people know that. They come in, it's like, man, I bleed with these guys, but yet I'm not going to be a prick to some Bear fan or a Viking fan or whoever you might cheer for. I'm going to give you a hard time. We're going to have a friendly banter back and forth. You know, we're not going to get to fisticuffs or anything. And I think the same with anything. You know, bikers walk in, and you know, they'll try to be. You know, you look at him and you can just say, like, oh, this guy's like thinks he wants to be a big badass. But you just walk in and go, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Welcome to Boxcars. How are you? You know, and I think that's it. Just being friendly, being nice to your staff, and that they'd probably, if you were interviewing some of them, they might have other things to say about me. I'm every once in a while not the easiest person to get along with, but I try to make amends right away or apologize if I blow up, my fuse gets short or whatever.
Sure.
Just being real like everybody else is, you know. And but I think that's a big part of, you know, like I said, I don't think it's a secret. I just, you know, having traveled and looked at people, I watched these guys that just sit at the end of the bar, you know, the owner, and won't get their fat asses up to even go clear a table to help their bartender out when they're busy, but yet they'll bitch at them for not doing it. You know, they won't step back in the kitchen and help. They won't go sweep up a spilt drink or a spilt food, or they won't go out and, you know, do whatever the dirty work behind the scenes to make things right. And I think if you do that, I think your staff respects that also. They'll look and go, geez, I can go out and I should have went and did that. I mean, here's the owner is over, cleaning up puke. I mean, or whatever. I mean, it just, that's a kind of a drastic example, but I mean, and stuff like that. When I'm in there, if I come in as a customer, if I walk in to meet somebody, or if I was to meet you, you said you were passing through town and I walked in, I'm going to buy you a drink. I'm going to buy you a drink. I'm going to pull the money out of my pocket, lay it on the bar,
right,
and have them put it in the till. And I think people see that and they go, wow, this guy's just like me. Not that, anything special to begin with, but it's just, I think they see that, and people, and there again, that word respect, they respect you for that. They respect the fact that, you're not in there just trying to be some big dick and, you're wielding your power around or whatever in your small little world, trying to be the king of little boxcars, and it's, and I think that's kind of what our key has been. My wife is such a key component behind the scenes thing. She's really the one that keeps it all together. I come up with ideas and I have the good time and I do a lot of the out front stuff. But I mean, her behind the scenes, without her, the place wouldn't go. So I mean, I get to be the one on the radio, and I get to be the one that introduces the comedians. I get to be the one that plays in the bands, and I get to be the one that all that. But without that, and without our staff, and letting them know that, and I do. I tell them guys I care about them a great deal. We've had some people that have worked for us. We've been open. It'll be 14 years in August. We've been open, and we've probably got 3 or 4 people that have been with us over 10 years. We've got some girls that have worked there since they were in high school, since they were 16. They're now 23, 24 years old. We don't have a lot of staff turnover, and I think it's just because, we treat them like how I would want to be treated if I was an employee. So I think if there's a secret to a success, I think that's it. Just, the golden rule, do unto others as you'd want them to do unto you.
I think that's the perfect way to end this call, because I think that it summarizes everything we just talked about. It's all about building relationships, leading by example. Give, and you got to give in order to get. And when you're putting your best foot forward, and you're always doing right by your customers and your staff, and creating unique events that incentivize everybody to want to be a part of your establishment, I think it's almost a shoo-in that you're going to be successful, provided everything else is going good in your business. It's all about bringing in those customers. It's all about keeping the customers, and you're doing a fantastic job of that. So thank you once again, Tim, for coming on and doing this with me, because I know that the people listening, the rest of my clients and some of these small towns, they're going to get great value out of this. So thank you very much.
No problem. My pleasure. Thanks for asking me.
All right.